Hey folks, today is Friday, June 23rd, 2023. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about the video game news that's been going on this week. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, new game announcements, some business type stuff, but before that, just know I've been saying this a lot lately, the Friday show is going up a little bit earlier in the day. If it is your Friday, here on the East Coast, we've been putting them up around 1 p.m. Eastern. So just a heads up that it is showing up earlier for some of you guys. Keep your eyes peeled for that wherever you live. It's always the video where the title is in all caps. It's annoying, but that's how you can find it. Also, I can't see anything. I have to put my glasses on. Sorry, I know this is weird. Do not be alarmed. I know I don't usually wear glasses. My eyes hurt because I have been playing Final Fantasy 16 constantly. And we're gonna have it before you buy out this weekend, but we wanted to see as much of the game as possible before giving any impressions or any information, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But let's just jump into the news. The biggest thing that has been going on this week is the FTC hearing. The regulatory body in the United States is going through with Microsoft for the whole Activision Blizzard acquisition. And in terms of news headlines and stuff, it has been bringing the heat because in these types of things with evidence and conversation, we go through everybody like heads at Xbox, Jim Ryan at PlayStation, internal emails, business plans. So there is a lot still flying at us, and keep in mind, because we are still working on Final Fantasy videos, we are shooting this a little earlier, so the news is still coming out. But one of the biggest headlines is that it seems like, according to the documents and all the stuff coming from these hearings, is that Sony intends to lock Activision out of any type of detail or information or hookups or anything regarding the PS6 when that comes out. Yes, this is the first, I think this is the first, do we have like an alarm? Can we have a sign come down? First time mentioning PlayStation 6 on the show. I'm tired already. In the deposition specifically, PlayStation's Jim Ryan says that if the deal closes, Sony wouldn't or can't tell Activision about its upcoming console. A lot of the times when big console manufacturers are working on something, they will keep the big publishers in the loop, but it seems like, according to Jim Ryan and some of the stuff from these depositions, they don't want to do that, or they cannot do that. Which, I don't know the deeper inner working business stuff, but that does sound pretty spicy, and I think that could lead to, at the very least, if things continue as they are going, you know, so there's the possibility of less well-optimized games on a certain platform, or not taking advantage of future PlayStation features. That's all spitballing, of course, that's all speculation. But the other big headline to come out of it, or two rather, was one that Xbox is saying that they've technically lost the console war. I've seen a lot of people running with that phrase, and that's something that Microsoft has talked about before. Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, has gone on record even saying that they are behind because of the choices made with the Xbox One. So I see that as self-awareness and not really admitting defeat. And again, I don't want that to be interpreted as like console war stuff. It's just me looking at it. I play on everything. The other thing to come from this specifically is Jim Ryan himself, head of PlayStation. In the deposition, there is evidence on record of him saying, talking to another Sony head, that he is aware that the Activision-Microsoft deal isn't about like Xbox exclusivity or anything like that. The quote from the deposition is, "It's not an exclusivity play at all. They're thinking bigger than that, and they have the cash to make moves like this. I've spent a fair amount of time with Phil Spencer and Bobby Kotick, and I'm pretty sure we will continue to see Call of Duty on PlayStation for years to come." So this does kind of contradict what Sony, the corporation, has been putting out there and kind of rallying against this whole Xbox Activision Blizzard acquisition. They, of course, according to The Verge here, have maintained that it fears Microsoft could make Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox or something, or even sabotage or make lesser versions for PlayStation platforms. And then this, of course, is all in the mix with the he said, she said back and forth with Jack Ryan. That would actually be pretty cool. With what Jim Ryan was saying, and with Xbox signing a deal to allow Call of Duty to continue on Xbox if this deal goes down, it is so much talk, so much crosstalk, so much he said, she said. Now we have essentially the executives saying certain things and being well aware of certain things behind the scenes, but having their company take different public positions, either for good PR or to, you know, kind of manipulate the courts. I don't know. This whole thing is still really confusing. I'm waiting for them to make a movie about this in 10 years, or at this rate, probably 5 years. Who knows? This thing is still going to be an ongoing thing for a while. And like I said, like, this is kind of boring business type stuff, but these are some spicy headlines from it. If there's anything more to come out from it, we'll talk about it more. But as for right now, at the time of making this video, there isn't a resolution, so to speak. How do you feel about this whole thing at this point? Let me know in the comments. Are you like me? Are you kind of tired of it and just want to see a resolution one way or the other and not just have this dragged out forever? Or are you rooting for one team over the other? However you feel, let's talk civilly in the comments. Hey, now, before we keep going, a quick word from our sponsor, our longtime sponsor, Vessi. Now, if you've been living under a rock or if you're new to this channel, Vessi are the dependable shoes that we've been recommending for a really long time. They come in a variety of different colors and styles, so there's a pair for everyone and every use. They're extremely comfortable, they're easy to put on, they're sustainably made, but the biggest thing is that they're 100% waterproof. This is thanks to Dymatex, the dual climate knit material. So if you are completely new to Vessi, just know that this is the best thing about them, but they don't feel like waterproof shoes. Personally, they are my go-to for any type of outdoor thing or adventuring thing, whether it's playing with my dog, which I've mentioned before, or a lot of the B-roll we shot here, I was actually shot in Iceland. I wear them on trips. Because you never know what's going to happen, and it's best to just have a comfortable shoe that is ready for anything. And if you've already heard of Vessi, consider going and checking them out with the link in the description, because they're always dropping new stuff. Cool colorways that sell out very quickly, new styles, like most recently, the Stormburst if you're a bit more of the adventurous outdoorsy type, or maybe just a pair of the weekends if you're looking for something more casual and hanging out. Like I said, there's something for everybody there, so if you want to check them out, all you gotta do is head to vessi.com/GameRanks. You can also use code GameRanks for 15% off. So once again, that's vessi.com/GameRanks, use code GameRanks, and big thanks to Vessi for sponsoring our videos. Moving on over some cool stuff, or potentially cool stuff, we now know that the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection is coming October 24th of this year, and we know it's coming for PC, Steam, which is very cool. Metal Gear games on Steam, I'm very excited about that, but also the Xboxes, the PlayStations, and Nintendo Switch. Nintendo had a Direct, and within that Direct, we got a new trailer for this, highlighting all the special features, with the visual graphic novel being on there, which is really cool. Original versions of Metal Gear, the NES versions, the MSX versions, stuff you'd expect from these collections. We have seen in different, compilations before, but on modern platforms, this is good, with the caveat that Konami doesn't screw this up. I've expressed a lot of skepticism about Konami, of course, in the past, so I'm still wary of this, but at the very least, Metal Gear, the original games, I love so much to the point where I'm annoying. If they're more accessible to more people, I think that's a good thing. But along with that, some eagle-eyed people online have spotted that on the website for this whole Master Collection thing, it very much lines up that, and it seems like it might be like clickable with the way it's laid out. It's kind of speculation, but that it's like a definite lock for Volume 2 to have Peace Walker, Metal Gear Solid 4, and Metal Gear Solid 5. That's kind of obvious, but also not obvious because Metal Gear Solid 4 is in such a weird PS3 game development and emulation limbo. That being said, it's like one of my favorites. For me, I'm a 1 and 4 guy. I know, sorry, that's weird. I love the series, but yeah, I'd love to see Metal Gear Solid 4 come to real platforms at some point, but who knows? That's still speculation, technically, but that's where we're at. Just Jake's little Metal Gear corner, excuse me. Now let's jump into that Nintendo Direct, actually. Let's break it down a bit, because Nintendo seemingly brought the heat with some cool new announcements. No Hollow Knight Silk Song, though. What's going on, man? I'm like trying to look at the camera, but I can't really see the camera. Anyway, what's going on? With that aside, of course, needs to be acknowledged that they should take their time and make a great game. We did have updates on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. Another more in-depth look at Pikmin 4, which is actually pretty right around the corner, which is nice. A Luigi's Mansion re-release, and an untitled Princess Peach game for 2024. Not a lot shown with that, but it seems like it's kind of 2D, and maybe not really combat focused. Like, you're not murdering people as Princess Peach, you're kind of just going around being nice. We'll see what the deal is with that. That is apparently coming 2024, but we got a bunch of other big things worth noting. Detective Pikachu is coming back October 6th. I know a lot of people like that. This is Detective Pikachu Returns, and it is a similar type thing for your Nintendo Switch. Also, that movie was good. It kind of came and went, and people forgot about it, but I really like that. Anyway, side note. My personal favorite announcement from this show was WarioWare Move It, coming November 3rd. This is taking advantage of the Nintendo Switch's features, but it is very much a throwback to like the original WarioWare micro games. I love that shit. For Game Boy Advance, it was my favorite, and it seems like structurally and mini-game wise, it is a spiritual successor, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Don't sleep on that if you play Nintendo Switch but never played the old WarioWare games. Yeah, put it on your radar. That is November 3rd. Along with that, there are a lot of remakes and remasters and stuff like that, but I think one that many people would argue is actually warranted in some instance is Super Mario RPG. Yeah, this remake is dropping November 17th, and it seems like gameplay is going to be pretty much the same, but visually a massive overhaul. We got little squat Mario looking kind of cute. I'm really into this. Seemingly not enough people played Super Mario RPG because that was back on the Super Nintendo days. So for a lot of people, this is a brand new game, so at least they can experience this. But then a big new mainline 2D Mario game called Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This is announced with the release date of October 20th, which, just saying, October is getting to be a really, really busy month for game releases. Holy shit. This is yet another 2D Mario style game that plays kind of like what you would expect, but the trailer, for me personally, showcased a lot of creativity and thinking outside the box and shaking up some of that 2D Mario platform style, presentation, gameplay scenarios that I think it needed, so I really hope this is good. We don't do too many before you buys on Nintendo games, usually only the big ones, but if there is enough interest for that, definitely let us know. There will be a pinned comment, of course, in the description where we ask what games you're playing. Still, I'd say it was a decent showing for Nintendo. We didn't have time to talk about everything, but like I don't really rate these showcases or anything. I just kind of go off of like how many new things do I have to talk about, and I look at that as pretty good. Next up, some things linked in the description down below. If you're looking for some Starfield news, Kinda Funny did an interview with Todd Howard himself, just getting little bits and pieces and some details about the game in terms of romanceable NPCs, locomotion, and getting around with the jetpack. Apparently there aren't going to be any rover-style vehicles in the game. Also, a little bit of insight into how Bethesda is thinking about mods now in terms of their design. They touch on the 30 frames per second thing a little bit. They talk about a lot, and it's pretty interesting, so if you want to check that out, that will be linked in the description down below. And also, if you are playing Final Fantasy 16 this week, just want to toot my own horn for a second, the Friends Per Second podcast I do with my friends. We had on Ben Starr, the voice actor for Clive, the lead character of Final Fantasy 16, who, you know, is doing a pretty good job in the game, at least in my experience so far. We talked to him about how he got the job. He's actually like a real capital G gamer, which I found very interesting. So if you want to check that out, that will be linked. But also some new games dropping this week. First is Trepang 2 for my PC first-person shooter friends. If you're looking for something a little bit of a throwback, but nasty, it seems like people are really digging this. Also, please don't sleep on Aliens Dark Descent. I talked about this on my channel a couple of months ago when I previewed it. I actually really like it. The reviews aren't like out of this world, but I thought it was pretty cool with what the hour, 2 hours I got to experience with it. I don't have time to cover it now, but definitely look into it if you're a top-down or Alien fan, 100%. Also, I did link a review for it if you do want to check it out a little bit more in-depth. I linked Mortismal Gaming. Mortem does a really great job, underrated reviews channel. Please go check them out. Tell them I sent you. Go have fun, be nice. But also just wanted to acknowledge the Quake 2 Remastered rumors. Yes, Quake 2 Remastered has been rated by a ratings board in Korea, which pretty much seems to confirm that this might be a go. It was assumed by a lot of people, it's been suggested, and it does seem like this is probably going to be a surprise announcement or drop during QuakeCon, which we now know is coming like August 10th through the 12th. So if you're itching for some more fresh, old Quake, which I certainly am, it just seems like it's rolling out exactly how the original Quake Remastered was. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We'll keep you guys posted on that stuff, but that is the gaming news this week. Like I said, we got to go finish working on Final Fantasy 16, so I want to know from you guys in the comments what you think about everything going on. From the craziness with Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard, FTC stuff, to what Sony's side is saying, to the Nintendo Direct and everything that got showcased there, and also just the new games releasing. What are you playing this weekend? Let us know. Like I said, there's a pinned comment. Let us know what you're playing in that pinned comment for our research purposes so we could tailor videos to you. It does legitimately help. I know it's like my spiel I say every time, but seriously, thank you. And thank you for watching. We are here every Friday covering the news forever. So if you like what we're doing here, just getting you caught up quickly, clicking the like button helps us out. Thank you. But that's it. I'm Jake Baldino. You can find me on my other YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jake Baldino, the Friends Per Second podcast. Either way, thanks for sticking around here. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Pizza's on me.